Yeah, I'm here on the Coal Road. This area here is part of the George Washington National Forest here in Virginia, and this is also area I've camped at several times. Just beyond over here, Fred, Canny, and Connie, down by the creek is where they set up their camp. And this is, I noticed driving in here, there's been a lot of washout. Some of the areas around here are still, there's areas of the woods or the forest that are flooded from a lot of the heavy rains that we have gotten from Hurricane FLorence. So, as you see right here, this is all washout right here. And the plus side of this, a lot of this is old recycled, mulched up leaves, where a lot of the fresher leaves have been washed away. But one thing about this kind of this ground and this terrain is good to look for. Just look for tracks. Some of this area has been messed with from wildlife digging around and whatnot. So you can see how beautiful and how green it is in here. Much of what you're seeing, there's a lot of mountain laurel throughout the area. Also, this area has a lot of oaks, and you got some maples. So you got a lot of hardwood in this area right here. A lot of hardwood. This is one of the areas I always come in this area to check for tracks. So look, this area here is holding water. This normally does not hold water. This is, but again, it is a great area. The ground is exposed pretty well. These are areas you look for signs of wildlife and other tracks, where the tracks will be exposed very easily if anything has been through here recently. So we're going to take our time. We're going to do some exploring, look around, see if we find any fresh signs of what may have been around, what's been traveling. So we're going to go down here, check by the other camp area. I like to go check down in Fred and Connie's area, since they like to report that it's always fresh with activity. We're going to go look for tracks. We're going to look for signs, anything indicating that if anything's been around. So stay tuned. Yeah, I'm in another area right here, and you can see areas are holding a lot of water, and because it's so wet and flooded in a lot of areas around here on the lower grounds, it gives off a stench from the dirt, the soil, the old leaves, the old rotten leaves. It gives off a stench. And this is kind of what we're looking for right here. We got a track right here. Right here. Comes up right there. Looks like we may have a possible another one right here. Look at this. Not sure. Maybe a bear. But areas that's been rained on, got a lot of soft soil. These are areas we look for. Let's come over here, check this out. Look at this. Something stepped right here. Look at that. Look at this. Wow. Something came through here. Gotta be careful, my shoes are getting stoked. Here's the heel. Right there. We're looking at about 15, 16 inches right there. The heel. And up here where the toes were. Stepped up over here. And this area here, we got, this is what they call Kennedy Fields right here. And I'm just off to the side of it. I'm going to explore in here. See what we got. So far we found a couple good possible looking tracks right here. We're going to take our time in here. I want to focus in here for a little while. see what we got going on. So stay tuned. Look at this, look right here, look at that. I know the camera's not doing no justice, but we got another big track right here. There's a heel right here. My fingertips are at the edge of the heel. And right here where the toes are, I can see toes. I know the camera is not doing no justice, but we got a trackway right there. We got a track, and it's headed this direction right here. See, after a good rain, when you got soft ground, good time to come out here and try to start tracking. When you might start finding interesting things. But at the same time, you gotta understand, you can't be, when you come across structures and formations, don't get so excited because there's a storm in the area, you're gonna find some new stuff out here. Severe heavy winds, rain, it creates things that can still blow your mind. When you gotta look at things very carefully. But again, like I said, this is a good time to be out here looking for tracks. Apparently we've had movement in this area. They've come through this area. It's actually starting to get a little humid out here too. Yep, starting to get a little humid. Also, the other thing you need to really seriously look for, because of the dampness in here and the leaves, copperheads. You got to really watch out for copperheads, because copperheads are going to be out and about big time. The temperature's right. There's dampness in the area. Copperheads, what makes them more dangerous is because they blend in with the forest flora. Look at the leaves. The leaves are orange brown. Even some of the ones that are beige to a gray color, they easily blend in, and that can be very dangerous for anyone such as myself walking through here. Unlike a rattlesnake, you may have a chance of hearing him because of the rattle. You will hear that rattle, but sometimes it may be too late. Best thing to do, like what I'm doing, I'm walking slowly. You stop, look, and listen, and just browse your eyes, scan your eyes all around you, out in front of you. I just zoomed in on the bent over tree. Some of these can be very interesting. I'm going to tell you why you can't always get excited over a bent tree. This tree right here, for example, it's been pinned down for a long time. It's been pinned underneath this rotted log right here. that rotted log at one point it got tired of standing. It couldn't hold, because it was so weak and rotted, it broke down. When it came down, it caught this sapling. And that's why that sapling is stuck under there. It's a natural occurrence. Bigfoot did not do that. Now, in some cases, yes, there is some where some bent over trees have been forced. I have pointed it out in old field videos, showing you and explaining how and why they've been forced that way. Look at this, old washout creek beds. These make and expose a lot of tracks. Sometimes it's good to look and browse through them while you're in the area. You don't know what you might come across. I gotta go check something out. I see something ahead that from this angle looks interesting, but then again it may not be nothing. I want to go look at something here. Now, look at what we got here. Now this is interesting. Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 different trees connected here. Well, this is what makes this a little interesting. This is a strong looking tree. Look how it went down and got this tree should have gone straight down that way. Judging from the position and the angle this tree is going, it should have gone down straight down that way. But it appears very forced. This is tough. I'm trying to pull that. That's been forced that way. That is seriously interesting. It's broke right there and bent going underneath this tree. This tree here, I believe later on came down later. Then you have that other log tree that came over top of it later on. This here may have just broke off from something and laid on top. That's still very interesting. Those are the ones I find fascinating. Yeah, a lot of this rotted stuff, a lot of this debris, this is natural. A lot of this is natural from weather damage. And old rotted trees that just decided to eventually come down from the winds and the rain. So yeah, let me get to pretty cool. Well, so far I worked my way around the outside edge of the field. For those inquiring, the field is known as Kennedy Fields here in Virginia. off the U.S. Forest Road known as the Coal Road, which is runs several acres of the George Washington National Forest. And this particular area here has a large amount of wildlife, a lot of deer, a lot of bear, and I will vouch and say the squatches do exist here for the very fact that I found my own evidence here. I found all kinds of signs that I honestly feel comfortable ruling out other wildlife and other natural occurrences. I've had experiences here with the vocalizations of whoops. I've had large stones thrown at me way beyond this trail, and that's another reason why I'm taking a couple minutes to let you guys know this trail here is has been known to be very active and very mysterious. Sometimes you may not get nothing, but up here is where it gets pretty intense at times because it's very closed in, very thick on the sides of the trail, and it provides excellent cover for any kind of predator or anybody to be spying or following or stalking, as you may want to put it. So I don't know, let's go take a look and see what happens. We may not get nothing, but I want to see what might happen. I haven't been up this trail in a while. So far I found some tracks. They were pretty inconclusive. There's a couple I wanted to say that they may have been Sasquatch tracks. I really wanted to say that, but I have no proof because they were not definitive. They were inconclusive. Now there was a couple obvious bear tracks I did come across, and other signs in the surrounding area pointed more towards bear activity, such as a dugout hole. The hole was a underground burrowed beehive. Bears are famous for doing that in this area. I've seen it out in my main research area, and I've seen it numerous times in this area. Bears love digging up beehives and bee nests and all that good stuff, you know. So that was near some of the tracks I had found. All right, there's a lot of impressions through here that I believe this, and it's safe to say that they do belong to bears in here. Now again, this is the area where I do believe a lot of the squatches hang further back this way. It's further away from the forest road, further away from campers, which right now there's no campers in the area. So we're gonna go take a look and see what we come across. So come on out, let's go take a look. Well, here we are. We're at a point in the trail where we're pretty much washed out. The whole trail looks like a stream coming down here. So all that, the water's coming straight down. But I'm going to try my best to work my way up, because since this area is wet, we might pick up some good fresh tracks. So hopefully my feet do not get as wet as I think they will. So let's see what we got. I believe it's safe to call this a track. Look at this, I'm trying to get this at the right angle. Look at right here where the heel, where it is stepped. Follow it up. Look at the toes. You can see indications where the toes are. Because this was stepped, there is water trickling into it. Don't know how long ago this may have been, but I believe it's safe to say we have one solid full track right here. I just took pictures with my phone, and this is what I came up here to look for. Told you, this trail is washed out. It's running like a stream, and I'm going to continue more because I believe we may find more. So let's keep going. This is exciting. And again, look at this. In the middle, this appears to be a right foot. Judging from the position of where the angle of the toes are, this track looks a little differently shaped than the one I just found below. But put my foot next to it, yeah, we usually have about a 15-16 inch track right here. See how wet it is over here. I'm actually walking on the right side, and actually I'm switching it up. Oh shoot, oh my goodness, my feet are getting soaked now. See, I just stepped in the wrong spot. Alright. Tell you what, Squatches must make this look very easily. Because, hold on, we got an indication right there. Something looked like it may have stepped right there. Man, I got cobwebs flying in my face. It's flooded right here. Water's coming down into the trail. I'm not making out anything else right now. Wait a minute, look right here. Yep. Something had stepped right there. That looks like a right foot. The one below, I don't know if I think I mistakenly called the other one a right foot, which may have been. This looks like it may be the same shape. Let's take a second and pew because of the mud and everything. It stinks around here because of the wet dampness and the mud. Mosquitoes are on all around me. They keep buzzing around my face. Once in a while you might get a response from a whoop. I don't often. Usually I get responses from tree knocks, not whoops. I can hear the creek running pretty heavy in the background. Starting to get cloudy and overcast. I know we're expecting rain this evening, so I'm not going to be in here too long. Alright, let's go up a little further. Sounds like I might be picking up movement. It almost sounds like I hear something. Oh, I dropped my glasses. Oh. Alright. Looks like something stepped there. Almost like, yeah, there's, yep, look at this. Right here. Right here. Why am I only picking up like a right foot? There's, right here, toes. I can see toes right here. You can follow the instep right here. This is awesome. Looks like we got a heel. I'm not making nothing out, but there's definitely a heel imprint indication right there. May have had a left foot right there. This looks like this might have been a left foot. It's hard to make out. It's not. That's definitely inconclusive right there. Look at this. What in the world kind of track is that? There's definitely been something stepped there. That's odd. That's a little odd right there. That's definitely different than what we've been finding. But man, I'm telling you what, we are finding tracks and impressions up through here. This is what I came up here to look for, and this is what I am finding. Whew. Tell you what, it is a little humid out here, but at the same time I can feel the temperature slowly dropping because the clouds are moving in. We're supposed to get a storm. But I'm telling you what, and my feet are wet from stepping in a lot of this flooded trail. But so far it's actually paying off to find what I'm finding right now. And for the record, these tracks are being found in Fred Kenny's research area. Now I will tell you, he's introduced me to a lot of the land here, a lot of the territory, the terrain. I've learned a lot about the area from Fred Kenny, getting to know my way around. And then there's areas I've actually gone and explored on my own to discover. So if you don't think Fred County's got squatches in this area, I'm telling you, I'm finding some. I've had my own experiences here. I could share a couple stories about the area. All right, what in the world we got here? Oh no, that's probably nothing. Looked interesting there for a second. Look, the water is coming down real good. It's a little flooded right there, and it's washing off down to the side. See how much water we got here? I'm going to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't understand about nature. To have all this extra water source here, this is going to bring in a lot of bears and a lot of wildlife. Wildlife, they need water sources. They hang around and they stay and dwell where the water is. Alright? And when it brings in other wildlife, that makes it more abundant for squatches to stay in the area, to move into these kind of areas. Alright? Like old rotted stumps like that, that's dug out and worn out. That's been torn to hell. That's bear activity. Bears do this. So whoop, whoop. It's getting real thick up here. I want to keep going. My feet are already wet. I might as well keep going. Uh-oh, hold up. I heard something. I heard something up there. I swear to you, I heard something. I just hope it's not a bear. There's big bears in the area. There is big bears out here. But perhaps my whoop maybe you spooked it up. Because bears, if they either smell you or hear you or whatever they may be, they're going to take off. Alright, stay tuned. We're going to go up a little further. One of the things I find very interesting is when you find formations and structures in a cluster. Could that mean something? I believe there's a good possibility, yes. But there's no evidence to say that it's pointing towards Bigfoot. Let's go look at a teepee structure. Let's go take a look at that. Now, I find that very interesting. About 20 feet, 20, 30 feet from what I just showed you. Does it mean anything? Maybe, but there's no proof that it does. Is there a possibility that I'm being watched? Very interesting. This is less than 100 yards from the other two formations that I just showed you. Natural weather, Bigfoot, we don't know, but it's still interesting. And I like to share these for everybody's speculation and for discussion. Yeah, do I have my opinion on some of this? Yes, I sure do. This just may be a simple occurrence, natural occurrence. But remember, ladies and gentlemen, we can't jump to the conclusion that Bigfoot did this. We cannot do that. So, but we could think about it. It's interesting. Very fascinating. Well, I hope you enjoyed the little bit of exploring that I did do. You know, I don't keep the camera rolling every minute that I'm out here. However, I gotta consider battery life and everything else. But you know, I tell you what, I just can't get enough of being out here. It's awesome. The mosquitoes were a little active today, you know, because most of the woods are pretty well damp. Got a flooded creek. Excuse me. Well, yeah, we do have a flooded creek. We've got a flooded forest, flooded trails. I mean, so yeah, today's been a very wet hike and exploration. However, it was not a disappointment. I mean, I was finding some pretty impressive tracks on top of the bear tracks I came around. Give or take, there was a couple that were very questionable. Yes, there was a couple that were very questionable. But in all honesty, my opinion, there was a few that you observed through this video that I found very impressive. Now, perhaps you may not see the details that I see, because remember, a camera is not always going to do complete justice when it comes to tracks. All right, but you know, you could take it how you want to. I'm not forcing you to believe in anything, but I do feel comfortable to say that a good portion of the tracks that I did find today belong to Sasquatch, and they've been active. I do believe it's part of its duty because of the temperatures. We've been having some pretty comfortable temperatures. So, found some deer tracks too. So the deer and the bear, squatches are on the move with plenty of water sources, with the forest being flooded, creating other runoff streams. So I mean, they got plenty to strive off of around here. Plenty of food sources here. Bears and deer, you know, they all roam where the water sources are. Bears go where the food is. All the animals go where the food is. So do the squatches. Squatches will follow. So you want to pay attention and watch where your wildlife are tracking, where they're active at. Where your wildlife is active, it's where the squatches are going to be. You know, if you take a grocery store, you know, if you take all the grocery stores out of one town and move them 2 towns over, and for the residents where they lost all those grocery stores, they need food, they're going to go where the food is. Same thing with wildlife and squatches. Common sense. So with what I share with you, just take it into consideration. And, you know, again, I'm not no expert. I pretty much present logical, common sense information to you. You know, there's a lot of people that lack that, so they need to hear this. So, but anyway, guys, keep it real. Thank you for tuning in and watching this video. Please share it, and if you have not done so, subscribe to this YouTube channel, Bigfoot Zone, ECBRO. God bless.